Hey guys, Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com. Today I've got a fun fold card for you. This was our mystery card for December 3rd. We play mystery card in the Kitchen Table Stamper Craft Social every other Thursday. I give you a set of clues on Wednesday that are materials to gather. And then on Thursday, the following day, we get together and we assemble the materials that you've gathered into a fun craft. Well, this was our mystery card today. All right, this card features the Festive Post stamp set. I've been dying to use this little vehicle and a great little fun fold. Let's get started. I'm going to grab a piece of old olive cardstock. This is 5.5 by 8.5 and the Simply Score tool. We're going to pop the old olive cardstock into the Simply Score tool, and we're going to score on the 8.5 inch side at 2 1/8. Rotate, and then score at 2 1/8. So it's 2 1/8 on both 8.5 inch sides. Got my bone folder, and this makes a really exciting little gatefold card, but it's still standard size, fits in a medium envelope, and uses that half a sheet of cardstock. So it's a fun fold without any extra materials. Isn't that cute? All right, then our designer series paper. Got a couple of pieces here, patterns. We're gonna set aside, this is 1/2 inch by about 3 1/4, maybe 3 1/2. It's a scrap. And then these are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. We've got 2 of those. I love this Trimming the Town designer series paper. Isn't this fantastic? Let me show you some of the other patterns really quick. We're getting close to the end of the holiday catalog, and so I am fearful. I know it's going to happen. It always does. These designer series papers are going to leave us soon. So there's the Trimming the Town designer series paper. It's a 12 by 12 pack. I just happen to have 6 by 6 pieces to show. Let's adhere that to our card base. Each of the gate folds gets one of the panels. I like my wreath with the bow on the top. I think it could go either way. I think you could have the bow on the bottom. I don't know. These long ones, though, that have the long tails. I guess that means we have to have the bow on the top. What do you think? We're just going to center each designer series paper piece in the gatefold. All right, there it is, looking good. Next, I've got some die cut pieces. I did a little bit of die cutting ahead of time. Let me show you. From Whisper White cardstock, I cut this 2 1/2 by 1 1/2 oval. This was done with the Layering Ovals dies. And then using my Stitch So Sweetly die set, I cut the second largest scalloped stitched oval and this largest label. That's Stitch So Sweetly dies. My scallop rectangle is Poppy Parade, and my label is Soft Suede. Before we do anything, let me grab the Simply Scored tool, because you can see we added some fun little texture and an inking technique to really add interest to our stitched scalloped rectangle. The Simply Score tool is perfect for adding some interest. We're going to add this die cut face down. It's really important because our die cuts do have a right and a wrong side. The right side is going to have a smooth edge. The wrong side has a bevel. So we're going to put that in upside down, and we're going to score at every 1/8 of an inch from the top stitches to the bottom stitches. Just stop when you hit those bottom stitches. Start your score right on the top stitches. I'm going all the way across. We're also starting to the inside of the side stitches. So we're really framing up inside the stitches this great little vertical line texture. Now at this point I'm getting really close to that inside there, so I'm going to turn and work out, and what that'll do for me is it'll give me freedom to move my arms. I'm not trying to work into this corner further and further. I can work outward, which makes this go a little faster. And here's our last line. And I went past the stitches right over here, so I'm going to just use my stylus to push that little embossed runaway back in to the design. Let's see. There we go. That Whisper White Craft ink. We're going to go ahead and do a direct to paper technique to highlight that texture we just embossed in there. You can take off, or you can put more ink on. See how it's catching those ribs? You can put more ink on, but you can't take it off. So just carefully, gently ink over. Doesn't it give it a nice winter frosty look? I love it. You can avoid the center if you want. The other label is going to stack up on top of it. I love the way that this technique just brings to life that flat Poppy Parade cardstock. Really adds character to our finished card. Let me show you the difference there. Look at that. Doesn't that just add such nice character? All right, slide that aside. Let's do some more stamping. Here's that Whisper White oval. We're going to ink up the car from Festive Post in soft suede, and we're going to stamp that high of center, but not too high. Now we have to clean our stamp because we're going to use Poppy Parade for the car. So we'll switch, use your chamois, wipe away all the soft suede ink. Got a scrap of Whisper White cardstock here. Let's ink up that car, Poppy Parade, and we'll stamp on a scrap. Set that aside. The Festive Post has the car, and then you can fill in the Christmas tree. So we're going to grab that stamp next, and we're going to ink that up in Old Olive. And we'll fill in the tree on top of our car. It's always hard to tell if I got this lined up with the phone in between me and the project. Ah, not bad. Excellent. A little scrap of Whisper White cardstock. This is 1/2 inch by 3 1/4. And my sentiment, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That came from an old favorite of mine, a returning favorite of mine, the Merry Moose stamp set. I love the font in these sets and the sentiments. It's really great. Enjoy the stillness of the season. Have a cozy Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas and Happiest of Holidays. You'll use those again and again. Now we want to stamp this to the right of center, and it is really close top to bottom, so it's hard for me to see what I'm doing with the phone in between me and the paper, but I'll give it a try anyway, because I like you. Ooh, look at that. It's nice. Not even downhill. That's winning. All right. Since we've got all the ink pads out, I'm going to grab one more piece here. This is a piece of Whisper White cardstock. It's 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I've got a sentiment here that I thought really worked perfect with the theme and the font from the Merry Moose. This is May Your Season Be Filled with Magic. And I picked that out of a Merry Hello. This is a photopolymer host set. So I spoke before about how it's about time for us to, very soon we're going to get the retirement list from the holiday catalog. And if you haven't looked at the host set from that catalog, you should really take a look at it. This Merry Hello is such a cute stamp set. We're going to stamp that little high of center, and this is the liner for the inside of our card. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, we are done stamping. I'm going to clear away the ink pads. Bring my pieces and my sample back in here. I like to minimize the number of pieces that I have at one time. Helps me to keep from losing things. So let's go ahead and put the liner inside of our card. That's a nice, easy consolidation we can do. And we're just gonna center that right on this inside panel here. Equal border. I'm going to show you a cute little decoration for that in just a minute. Now we can adhere our soft suede, sweetly stitched label to our Poppy Parade, sweetly stitched, scallop stitched rectangle. Now we're going to burnish that down so that it really grips, even with that ribbed texture and the ink. Sometimes ink can interfere with our adhesive, so just give it a good burnish. We want a strong adhesive, maybe some Stampin' Seal Plus or tear and tape. We're going to go down the left side of this rectangle, avoid the center and right, and then let's pick that up and adhere it to the front of our card. So hold, close that gate fold, center your label right to left, and it's just a bit high of center, top to bottom, and then burnish down. And there's our awesome gatefold. Let's grab the oval. Where is my oval? There it is. We can glue that one to the center of our label. I'm going to grab some paper snips, and I'm going to cut the Poppy Parade car right off, and then we'll lay it over with some Stampin' Dimensionals so our car pops just a bit. You're going to cut off the wheels and the Christmas tree. We only want the body of the car. And where you can, you want to leave a little white border so you get a nice, clean, complete coverage of the brown one that'll be underneath. On a space here where the tree touches the car, you want to just cut it out. Don't leave any white where the tree touches the car, only around the outer edges. I'm going to pop a couple of mini dimensionals on my car here. Get them cut in half even. And pop this guy right over his wheels. The cutest thing ever. Oh my goodness, I love that image. That was the image that sold me on the Festive Post. All right, a little bit of punching. I've got a scrap of old olive and my pine tree punch. This is a favorite. Oh my gosh, I love this punch. I'll never let this one go. I often do sell my retired products, but this punch is just too useful. All right, I'm going to add a quick little bit of texture to it. So let's slide our samples to the side. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Set this up for embossing. I'm taking out 2, I'm putting back 3. My wrapped in texture embossing folder. Let's pop that little tree punch inside the folder, and we'll give it a quick crank. And just like the texture that we added to that Poppy Parade label, this is going to add so much. It's the little details that really make the whole. Isn't that cool? All right, before I go any further, since I've got my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out, I'm going to show you the fun little detail we did on the inside of the card. I'm going to put back 2, and then I'm going to grab my magnetic plate, and this is 5. Those of you who have purchased 5 or tried to know that this is not available currently. Stampin' Up! Is working out some of the issues. You see it's curved. I have been saying that I've been using mine and I've been enjoying it, but I'm not sure. The jury's out because it's hard to get a magnetic grip on this area where it's beveled. So Stampin' Up! Has decided to issue a credit. Those of you who are waiting for that, it's coming. You should see that by mid-December. And they are reworking this product. I'm hoping that we will see a new one eventually because I do love the magnetic plate. I love how it just holds that die right in place to cut out that little wreath without any extra effort. But if you're waiting for your product credits for this, you should see it by mid-December. I'm hoping that they make it better than before. I thought this was the perfect opportunity to use it and give you that update too if you're waiting for it. So now we got this cutie, little perfectly cut out wreath. If you watch me, you probably know I'm about to say, let's glue that down before I lose it. And I add a little multi-purpose liquid glue on the back of it. And we'll pop it right in underneath. May your season be filled with magic. Isn't that cute? Thank goodness, I just love it. Simple, and we used a scrap that would have normally gone into the trash bin, and look at how cute that is. All right, back to our outside. Got my tailored tag punch. Let's do some dovetails here. I did both ends of my sentiment, but only one end of my designer series paper. And a little bit of adhesive on the designer series paper. We're going to put that down across the bottom of our oval. Be very careful. This little tail here on both of the greeting and the designer series paper is going to overlap, and you don't want adhesive there. You'll glue your card closed. So be very careful not to go all the way to the end with the adhesive on either your sentiment or your designer series paper. Our awesome textured tree needs some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. Let's position that so it doesn't interfere with our car, but fills some of the space. Oh, so cute. I love the All the Trimmings ribbon combo pack. If you got your eye on the Trimming the Town Designer Series paper, this is the coordinated ribbon. I'm going to go with the Poppy Parade, and we're going to tie a bow around our sentiment here. I did go generous, kind of big loops, long tails. I love the sparkle that this ribbon brings. Let's cut it away from the spool. Now the tree is up on dimensionals already, so let's take our flat adhesive and we'll add a bit. It can go right up over the ribbon. If you go carefully, it'll roll right over. And then we're going to do some Stampin' Dimensionals. Don't go all the way to the end, remember, because we don't want to glue the card shut. Give yourself a little leeway there. And then we'll bring in some dimension on the other side of the sentiment. This will be supported by the dimensionals under the tree. I'll bring my sample back in here. And that's just so cute. Oh my gosh, the colors are so Christmassy. What do you think? It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I say it is definitely beginning to look a lot like Christmas with the red and green, the wreaths, the little textured pine tree. Isn't that great? I hope that if you played mystery card with us today, you enjoyed the craft. If you haven't, it's not too late. Join the craft social. Watch the replay of the mystery card, grab the clues, watch the replay, and show us your fun fold mystery card. All right, you guys, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. Like, subscribe, share the video. That helps people know that I'm here crafting. And to shop Stampin' Up 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching.